Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and something I was just thinking about today that I was reminded of by reading through comments and things other people have said, and something that needs to be addressed is that a lot of people get this idea that taking advice from someone should be based upon if you want to look like them or not. And I'm not talking about competitive athletes. Obviously, I have a very large number of athletes on this channel. Amateur level, high school level, college level, actually a few pro athletes on here and some elite level athletes I've talked to. But a lot of the guys are here just to get in shape, get bigger, get leaner, or even women are here for the same purposes. They have physique-oriented goals, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I might troll some of the bodybuilders, competitive bodybuilders a bit, but I'm honestly okay with people who have physique goals. But this idea that you should take someone's advice because you want to look like them rather than based upon the quality of the information they're giving you or how applicable it is to you is really irrelevant. Case in point, tons of people take Chris Jones's advice. Chris looks good. Chris is a friend of mine. We get along. I think Chris looks fantastic. But I can tell you right now that if you start using Chris's exact training method that he uses and his diet method, a year from now you're not going to look like Chris. In fact, tens of thousands of people take Chris's advice and don't look like Chris. And Chris has even said in recent videos that the way he built his base has nothing to do with the way he trains right now. He was talking about that the way he trains his back right now is not the way that he built his foundation up, and that you need to use different methods as you progress. People are going to have different responses to training. You're going to look differently, and it goes a lot more than just what your current program looks like. And it's weird, I get people who were listening to advice I've given for telling people how to get hypertrophy. And people will say, well, I'm not taking your advice because I don't want to look like you. Well, my advice on what I'm giving for guys trying to gain hypertrophy has nothing to do with the way I train. I train nothing like that. People are saying, well, if you want to look like Jason, Blaha, train 3 or 4 days a week. I train 3 hours a day, 7 fucking days a week. So you guys who are saying you don't want to look like me, so you're going to go train every day or 6 days a week, well, that's stupid because that's what I do. That's really moronic. I don't train 3 days a week. I'm a strength athlete. I'm a competitive strength athlete who needs a high frequency of training on my squats. My squats go up if I squat every day. I squat every day. I do some sort of pull every day. I do some sort of press every day. And I do high volume. So guys who are saying, oh, no, I do high volume so I don't look like Jason. Well, I do 21 sets of closed grip bench presses every week. And none of those are under 120 kilos. So I'm not advocating that people who want to gain muscle use my training program. And by that same token, I would certainly hope that when I finish my cut, if all of a sudden I look better and people say, well, I think Jason looks good, I'm going to adopt his training program and the diet that he used to cut, I would advise that might not be the best course of action for you. When you're trying to get advice and you're trying to look at what you're doing, really look at things critically. Don't assume that because any given person is at a given point that the advice they're giving you has to do with specifically what they do, or that what they're telling you right now is going to make you have their exact same results. Because just like I've told you guys, my novice program that I've written, countless people got results on it. I have run a person on that program personally that I trained in person. They got great results. I've never run the program. It's a program I wrote. It's not a program I follow. And the same with Chris Jones. He has specifically said that the way he trains today is not how he built his foundation, and he wouldn't recommend somebody who's only been training for a year to adopt his exact training method. So irrespective of who you're talking about, you've got to put that in perspective. Your training needs to be based around what you're trying to achieve. And if someone is giving you advice, they're hopefully giving you advice to help you achieve the goals that you need to achieve presently. Because achieving your long-term goal is going to require you to achieve your short-term goals. And the more efficiently and more quickly you achieve those short-term goals, the sooner you're going to get to the long-term ones. And the advice needs to be done that way. And it should never be based upon wanting to look like somebody because you don't have other people's genetics. You don't know what drugs they're on. Maybe you can't even afford the drugs they're on. Maybe you don't want the side effects of the drugs they're on. Because quite frankly, I know a lot of steroid users who would absolutely never consider in a million years putting an IFBB Pro drug stack into their body. They wouldn't do it, even if they had it for free. But you need to look at it and assess it critically and ask, is this piece of advice really pertinent to what I'm trying to do? And advice that all of us give should hopefully be context specific. I am oftentimes very specific in who I give specific advice to, and you shouldn't necessarily jump over and say because I gave advice to this demographic and you're in a different group that you should follow it. All right, guys. Enough of my rambling. That's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go.